Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today I have a very special topic to talk about, because you know what, you need it, you need to use it in your business. Okay, so if you want to have a successful business, you have to be able to learn how to apologize to your clients. All right, so this is what we are going to discuss today. By the end of this topic, you're going to understand how you listen to your client, how you empathize with your client, and how you apologize to your client, how you ask questions in the middle of that situation, and how you find a solution to that problem, and how to follow up on that client, and then also how to create a record, all right, for that specific client that would have complained about your business or the service that you would have offered. All right, so let's get into it. So guys, as always, I always have my little notebook here, because that's where I put down all the notes for you, so that I can share everything and not leave anything unsaid. Okay, so I do have 8 guidelines with me, so please follow them. If you do have a pen and a paper, you better write this down, because you will definitely need these guidelines in your business. It doesn't matter whether it's a hair salon or it's a spa or it's any kind of business, you still need to use these guidelines. All right, because this is a guideline on how you are going to bring that client back into your business, on how you're going to retain that person back into your business, because you don't want the client to complain and then after that they spread the word, okay, about your business, and then the next thing you don't see that client coming back, you see more and more clients never coming back into your business. So let's get into it, guys. So point number 1, when a client comes back into your business to complain, the best thing you need to do is to listen. All right, listen to what your client has to say, because at that point it's not about you, it's about the client, it's about the person that came to complain. So you as an individual, you have to listen. You as a manager or as a therapist or as whatever it is that you are in your business, when the client is complaining to you, you better listen to everything that they tell you. All right, so what the client will then do is the client is going to tell their side of the story. So the most important thing about listening is that you have to understand the side of the client. You know, you have to understand the side of the story from the client before you say anything to them. So understanding what the client has to say to you, it makes you then you are able to resolve the issue, because you understand where it started and where it ended and how you can resolve the problem. All right, so secondly, you have to empathize with the client. If a client comes in, they're shouting, they're complaining, right? Now you have listened to the client, right? Now what's the second stage? You have to empathize with the client. All right, acknowledge the mistake. Let the client understand that you're hearing them. You understand what they went through and how it affected them and how it made them feel, and this is why they're complaining. Make them understand, because that's the only thing that the client wants to hear, that you are there, you understand, and you are listening to them, right? So yes, so acknowledge the mistake and tell the client you understand. Make them tell them that you understand after listening. When you're listening, the one thing that I forgot to mention is that you have to nod your head when somebody's talking to you. That's a sign of that you're acknowledging what they're telling you. And then afterwards tell them that, yes, I do understand, and I'm really sorry about what happened, and we are willing to solve the issue. All right, so empathizing with the client, that is number 2. So number 3 is apologizing to the client. So apologize to the client and thank them for bringing the issue to your attention. All right, so because some of the clients, they don't come back after something happens, they leave and never come back, and those are the people that go around telling everybody else that they know everything bad about your business. Why? Because they were not happy, right? And then they didn't tell it to you, so you didn't solve the problem. So they go around telling everybody else how unhappy they were when they came to your business, right? So, and then it makes more people not to come and support your business, because everybody knows all these bad things about you. So apologizing, it will help you to bring back more clients. Even the one that had a problem in your business, that person will still come back. All right, as I had said, apologize to the client and thank them for bringing the issue to your attention, right? So they were being nice to you because they decided, you know what, let me tell this person about what happened here so that they can fix it. So that's a sign that that client wants to still come back to you. They don't want to go back somewhere else. They want you to fix that problem. So you better give them that attention and be able to solve the issue for them. That was point number 3, which is apologizing. And then point number 4 is that you have to ask questions. Ask questions. People want to be asked. It's a sign that you care. It shows that you care, right? Ask relevant questions. Yes, ask relevant questions, how the issue started and how it ended. And ask whom did they speak to, who was taking care of them, who did their nails, or who did their massage, or who did, whatever service they had, or whatever, who attended to them, who made the sale for them. So things like that. It makes a client understand that you are there for them and you want to know more and you are willing to help them. All right. So the fifth point, now we are going into the 5th point. Like I said, the 4th point was asking questions that are relevant. And then number 5 is communicate with the team. So if you're somebody that has a multiple number of people that work under you or that work for you, the best thing is to go ahead and address that issue with the whole team so that the same incident does not happen to the other person. All right, so you're going to address that issue. Communication is key. Communication is key in everything. Communicate with the team, make them understand why we shouldn't do certain things, because those things that we do in the business, those are the ones that kill our businesses. All right, so you have to be on the same page. The manager, anybody who's under you has to understand that this is what we are looking forward to as a company to grow in order for us to grow. So let's use that communication to grow the team. Communicate openly about everything, make them understand. And then number 6 is finding a solution. All right, so the client has complained, you have empathized with them, you have apologized, you have asked all the questions, you have communicated. Now we have communicated with the team. Now you're going to find a solution for your client, all right, or for whatever you call it in your business. Yeah, but for your client. So in this situation, you'd likely offer a client a refund or a replacement. All right, so for example, if a client comes in and refunds, let's say you are sorry guys, I need to clear my throat a little bit. So let's say if your client came back and they came and had a massage, and then they complain about the massage, but they stayed throughout the whole treatment and enjoyed the massage. I don't know whether they enjoyed, but let's just assume that they enjoyed or they had a massage. Then after that, they come back and complain. So how do you then refund that person? Okay. So these are the steps. First of all, you're gonna do everything that we mentioned earlier, and then it's either you refund full amount of money depending on how bad the complaint is. If the complaint is not that bad, let's say it's in the middle, then at least you can offer a discount, let's say a 10% discount or 20% discount, or however whatever your organization offers. Or if it's really, really bad, that's when you're going to give a full refund, like I had said, like a full, complete refund, depending on the situation that had happened. All right. Now, we are going to go to point number 7, the follow-up stage. All right. This is my favorite, because now you would have resolved the issue. You would have found the solution. You have listened to the client. You've done everything. Now we are going to follow up, meaning the client complained and left and you solved the problem. Now you are going to follow up, let's say maybe 48 hours after or 24 hours after, depending on what your company requires. So you're going to follow up. So this is what I had put down in my notes. Okay, so after the situation has been resolved, send an email or message to the client to give them assurance and a chance to rate your customer service. This is very, very important because remember, you solved the issue, you have listened, you have empathized with the client, you have communicated, you have done everything in your power. Now you are going to follow up, all right? So the importance of following up, like I mentioned earlier, yes, so you're going to follow up to see if the client can actually rate your customer service, because if they don't, there's a high rate also that they are not coming back to your business. So you have to make sure that you follow up on that client to get them back into your business. All right, perfect. And then number 8, this is the last one, guys. Create a record for your client. Guys, this is very, very important. If you are working at a place where you're still using books, or you're still using, nowadays people use phones, depending on whatever you use, make sure you put down the contacts of the client, the name, the last name. Make sure you put down you create a record for your client. All right, so when you're putting a record for your client, you are going to record all interactions with the client in question, on how the issue started and how it was resolved. So you can make like a little bit of columns, right, where you're going to put the date, the name, the last name, the contact details, and then the issue that had happened, and then also how it was resolved. So keep that in your records for the future, in case the client comes back. Then you can know, okay, this is a regular client, this is always their problem, so that you are able to handle them, so that you're able to give them the kind of service that you are looking forward to, that they are looking forward to, actually, sorry. Yes, so it helps you to maintain your standards, to understand your client at a personal level, because sometimes, because we are not happy as clients, it's because we are not understood at a personal level. So everybody wants to be understood at a personal level. That is how it works in a business. Guys, thank you so much for following and listening today, and I hope you understood everything that I mentioned, all the 8 guidelines as to how you can resolve an issue in your business. Step 1, like I said, listen. Step 2, empathize. Step 3, apologize. Step 4, ask questions. Step number 5, communicate with the team. And then step number 6, find a solution. And then step number 7, follow up. And then step number 8, which is create a record for your client. Okay, so guys, this was it for me for today. I hope you're having an amazing Sunday, guys, but please make sure that you write down all the notes, or you can still go back and watch again and write down all the notes. And I will see you on my next video. I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please go ahead and subscribe, because you do not want to miss out on your you don't want to miss out on the next videos, because we keep growing, we keep learning. As I'm sharing these videos as well, I keep learning from what I am doing, and I'm very excited about it. So please practice these guidelines. They will definitely help you in your business. All right, thank you so much.